His peace is amazing. His peace is amazing.
Good morning, Landy. Well, the holidays are here. I thank everyone who was Amanda and everybody involved in the Christmas party. Thank you for, I heard it was an excellent job and team effort, so I appreciate that process. Next Sunday, Diane and I will begin tag teaming for a couple of weeks here in December, so you can hear from both of us. You know, Jesus was with the disciples, and he got hungry, and he went to a tree that was supposed to have fruit on it, and it didn't. He took evasive action. He cursed it. And within 24 hours, it was dead. It was a beautiful tree, full of leaves, maybe provided shade. Maybe it was on the corner of a crossroad that provided landmarks. Maybe it was a marker. I do not know. But the issue was not how it looked, it was what it produced. And the issue with the church and with us as individuals, it's not how we look or how we sound. It's what we can produce. If you have acres and acres of beautiful green, lush corn, but no ears on the stalk, what good is it? So in December of 2025, I am at a wonderful place personally, but I am heavy with conditions and fruitfulness. I have a concern for our nation. I have a concern for the American church. Those are two areas. The church is my wheelhouse, and America is where I live. And here is an illusion. A president cannot fix America. That's the reason why you get the back and forth where you vote for someone, and if they don't change it within a week, midterms, you're voting someone else in. And then that lame duck's a president, and then the next 2 years, they didn't do anything. So we're running from location to location, and the person that can promise us the most or has the best message, we vote for. This isn't political. This is just in life. I do believe you can get reprieves, and I do believe you can get, it's kind of like when you're running or you're doing something, and you can tell you need to get your second breath. and you just can't get it at that moment, but then you get that good deep breath, and it's like, whew, man, you're good to go. See, presidents and congressmen and senate can give you a breath, but the tension and the pressure is going to build back up. And America is the direct result of the American church. It is the direct. I am the blame. I am. I'm not saying you are, I am. Because we are clearly taught that we are to be salt and light. And salt is to prevent, stop, or to cause the decay to stop. You can stop decay by salt. And you can use light, especially ultraviolet light, that destroys viruses and germs. So we have a twofold to be light and salt. To save our families, to preserve our country, and that has not occurred. You have to ask yourself questions. Why these things occur. So my teaching, my training, my modeling. See, I have modeled. Let me just tie this in. I'm not trying to tie everything in at one sitting here. I was talking with Miss Chalet. They came out not with a study, not with research, with facts. The Department of Education. 30% of graduating seniors have a reading proficiency. That means only 30% out of, let's just break it down simple, out of 100 students graduating at the 12th grade, only 30% can read proficiently. I mean, I don't know what to say. We spend more on education than any other country in the world. %. When I was growing up, Agnes, 69 was an F. 70 was a D. Now they have all kinds of different things now. I don't know what it is now because we don't want to fail anybody. We don't want to fail anybody. 60 is a D. Y'all look at me for a minute. Just hang on for a minute. Look at me for a minute. Can we talk today? You can't give anything. No. Let's just talk here. 70 was the very point of passing. It was a D. 69, you failed. She just told me, or told us, that a D is 60, and you can't give anything below a 50. But yet the Department of Education has a 30% grade. 30. It's below what you can even give. I'm speechless. It's like being in the wilderness. We keep going in circles. Let me tell you what I believe should have happened. Instead of rioting over people being shot in the street or being murdered or rioting over things, every American parent should have protested in the streets This is not acceptable. We want your job. We want someone's job because they have an affair. But do you realize the future outcome of all these students that are graduating from 12th grade that has a 30%, only 30 has a proficient reading. The other 70 will not be able to have high-paying jobs. They will not be able, they're going to be in the poverty realm. They're not going to be able to function with AI coming. They will not have skilled jobs. Do you see? This is the destruction of a nation. It's the destruction of a nation. Any outcry, any riots, any protest, anything? No. We need to sink more money in it. This isn't my message. It all ties into it. If that is the condition of the educational system, that is the condition of the church. I would say the church has a lower Christ-like proficiency than 30%. Why am I sitting down? There's a purpose in me sitting down. You know it, Michelle, don't you? You know why I'm sitting down? I'm trying to change what I was taught. Because we like yelling and screaming and shouting and rhythm and cadence and hey! We like excitement and passion. We like energetic. We like dopamine rushes. We like rhythm because they make us emotional, but they do not form us. Teachers don't preach. Politicians don't preach. Presidents don't preach. Professors don't preach. None of them preach. You know why? Because preaching does nothing. Disagree? Where's the fruit? The greatest preacher, probably one of the greatest preachers in America, preaching didn't keep him out of a P. Diddy party. What are you saying? I'm probably anti-preaching because it is so broken. We stand for a moment. I know how to get you excited. That's about me needing your validation. Because when you stand and shout in, you're saying, look at me. But when you leave out of here, it's like an energy drink. You crash. This is very uncomfortable for me because I have been trained and conditioned and to read your responses. And when I tap into the rhythm where you like it, then I stay here because we're feeding each other. I want us to be formed in Christ and save a nation, not be excited because of our vocabulary. It's an illusion, and we're happy with the illusion. It is. Most preaching is idolatry. So the title of today's message ties into this: when God feels close on Sunday but far away on Tuesday. We don't need another sermon. We've said that. See, we have shifted from being formed into Christ to being informed. I'm in a very challenging place because I've learned something. I've been doing a lot of writing on me. Sounds narcissistic, but trust me, it's not. This is what I realized about me. I can overwhelm you with content and bullets, revelation bullets. But I give you so much information that you're not able to absorb it. And when you cannot absorb it and live it, you lose it. So I have given because I needed you to know that I'm credible. I need you to know I'm credible. I need you to know I've done my homework. I need you to know I'm not a Dollar General Sermon Central preacher. So I give you an automatic AR-15 50 magazine that I load you with revelation knowledge. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Because now we are addicted to that's a good word versus that's changing me. So what'd you think of Sunday? That was a good word. Oh. Was it, y'all gonna have to, I'm going in and out of my chair. But she said a good point. She said a good point. The word can be good, but did it change you? See, that's why she's going to help tag team with me. And I've come to realize I have given so much information. Listen to me. Listen, this is good. This is going to help us, Greg. I've given so much information and content that's been, a lot of it you've never heard taught anywhere, honestly. It's concepts and teaching. That it's so overwhelming you can't absorb it. So what that does is I can't live this, so you start living individual. I'm just going to live the best I can for God. See, God's never asked you, listen to me again. It is not scriptural for us all to be living individual walks with God. We're supposed to be one church, one mind, and one cord, and we're all growing together. I am part of creating this, and then our culture is so information driven. We have so much information because of the internet and every podcast and audible books and everything that now all we do is talk information, but there's no transformation in our lives. So I have inundated us because I need you to know I'm credible. So I give more and more information to make me more credible. So you can't deny my credibility, but you have so much stuff coming at you when you walk out. Where do I start? I'm just going to do my own thing. And that is the illusion that when churches begin to everybody to live their individual life, that is the breakdown and the failure of the church, of demising. God never asked you to live this where Richard's doing his own thing, and Shakima's doing her own thing, and Bree's doing her own thing. A house divided cannot stand. And this is all the illusion and the breakdown of our culture and America. It's called drift. And that is my word for 2026, personal drift. You ever feel stuck? I feel stuck. Sometimes you're stuck, but you don't know how to name it or articulate the emptiness you feel. For some, you may feel exhaustion, or you may have these spiritual numb spots. You may be tired. You may have hunger for something real and deep. You just can't identify what's going on. That's the way I am about the church and about America. My mind cannot comprehend what's going on. I just can't comprehend it. It does not make sense to me. It creates tension in me, and it creates a lot of feelings. What is going on? So I've watched people for years, observed people for years, and I've lived this myself. People love God, but they're tired. They're exhausted. People believe Scripture, but they're not changing. They quote Scripture, but they're not changing. Still the same vices, still the same attitude, still the same circling, still the same parenting issues, still this everything, still the financial issues. We're circling. We love God. We know Scripture, but nothing's changing. People show up, but there's no traction. People know what should be happening, but it isn't happening. People pray, but the shift never seems to take root. I shared this story, and I'll share it with you again. My dad's sister, her name was Nita. That's a country name from South Carolina, Nita. And his name was Briggs. It was Briggs and Nita Bodiford. These were as good, we called him Uncle Briggs. He always had juicy fruit in his pocket. Every time you approach him, he had juicy fruit. They're both passed now, but when he passed probably 8 to 10 years ago. These were two of, more than me, two of the most, I would call, great American Christians of anyone I would know. Never smoked, never drank, never used profanity of any kind. Moral, conservative, married 50, 60 years. They never had children. I mean, my wife could help me. Just sweet, loving, Southern couple. At church every Sunday, they were Methodist. And when his wife got sick or started getting dementia, and he had to put her away because he didn't have the strength. They were both in their 80s. He couldn't pick her up. She would put her arms around his neck and hang on, and he would shuffle to the house to get her from location to location. And it got to the place he could not even do that anymore. And he shared this story with my brother that always stuck with me. He said, because he felt guilty about putting his wife in a nursing home or assisted living. He says, I have been a follower of Jesus Christ for 50 years, and I have been a deacon and elder in the church for 40. He said, I can say that I've never heard God's voice. And he said, I've never had a prayer answered. But I love God. That is sad. Because today, I don't know how many of us, if we were to ask Rania and Roman and Asher and the different young ones, have you ever heard God's voice? I don't know what the answer would be. Or Haley or Alana. Have you heard God's voice? Have you ever had a prayer answered? See, I don't know if we really do have a record of prayers being answered, because anymore, if you don't get what you want, you get a loan. If you don't get what you get, you put it on the credit card. If you discipline yourself to get it. I don't know how many stories we really have anymore because we're so blessed. But if your children, you will give them flashcards and teach them how to know math and how to know reading and how to that. But do they know how to hear God's voice? How do you know where to go when you can't hear his voice or identify his voice? Churches now are about, what kind of programs do you have for our kids? You don't have a program? We got to find a church that does have the program. You know why? Because it's not about you knowing God's voice. I got to keep you entertained. I got to keep you busy. I got to keep you engaged, because I'll lose you. Listen, if you're losing your kids because they're not in a youth group, it's you're losing your kids. There's been hundreds of years that there was never a youth group. Well, I want my child, it's like homeschool. I want my child to fit in. How about your child to know how to sit still and hear God's voice? I don't know how many people actually can sit down and tell you, I hear God's voice, and can legitimately prove it's God's voice, because we just everything is muddy water now. So I have two questions I'm going to ask for today. One's personal and one's collective, and then we're going to build off this. The first question: if Jesus designed his presence and his word to transform me, why does it feel like I'm spinning my wheels with barely any change? If Jesus designed his presence and word to transform me, why does it feel like I'm spinning my wheels with barely any real change? If you were to look at 2025 and make a list and then go ask people, how much formation or transformation, not how much money you made, not how much your 401k increased, not how your yard looks, how much personal interior transformation occurred in 2025, how would that list look? Here's what people say: it is what it is. No, it is not. It is not is what it is. I am not looking to Casey to determine my interior formation. Well, so-and-so, as my parents used to say, if so-and-so jumps off the cliff, are you? So if so-and-so is not forming, are you not go form? My formation is tied to this, not what I see other people doing. What is the fruit of my formation? Second question. This is a collective or corporate question. If the church is supposed to form Christ in us, why do so many of us feel disconnected from the very change we're chasing? If the church is supposed to form Christ in us, why do so many of us feel disconnected from the very change we're chasing? See, I believe that people, I know I do at times, we feel guilty asking the question or stating that the church isn't forming us. We don't want to, I mean, if you look at that in education, I mean, we have teachers of the years in here and all this. I mean, to state that your school system, your system that you're working for, has a 30% success rate. We don't want to, we're part of this. See, we're involved, but we're not transformed. We're in school every day, but I don't learn to read. I hear sermons and dance, but I don't become more like Christ. We're active, but we're not necessarily aligned. So I understand why we hesitate to ask these questions. I am heavily burdened and saddened and moved by my nation and by the church. I feel super because we see it all, but then when we look individually, what are you individually? Whatever you think of America, what are you actually doing to make any change in America? You can know all about the founding fathers. You can read every history book. You can be able to recite the Constitution. You can know the Bill of Rights. That doesn't change America at all. That's information. How do I take what I know and transform my nation with it? You've been so good at where am I, PT, with this? I am starting, and I'm not trying to get a like. I'm just going to start going and saying, we can't continue this in our nation, and we can't continue this in our church. I'm not accusing, fighting a human. It's the system. It's broken. And if you and I do not change the way we are doing things, our nation will collapse. Why don't we ask these questions, or why don't we say these things about, and I'm just using the Department of Education, it's every department in America, but it's because we're fear of sounding ungrateful. We're fear of looking spiritually weak, or we're fear of being judged. We're fear of disappointing our leaders. We're fear of admitting I'm here, but I'm stuck. I'm here, but I'm stuck. Is this resonating? I don't want to preach this, and I'm okay with no high energy in here. Because the high energy is not going to transform you or change you. It's you absorbing what I'm saying and saying, how do I make a change in my life? See, the mechanics of being stuck are universal. Have you ever studied anything on being stuck? The mechanics of being stuck are universal. The physics are the same. Here's a definition of stuck. When energy or force is being applied, but position is not changing. How many in here have ever been stuck in their vehicle? Okay? You've been stuck in your vehicle, okay? When you get stuck, what do you keep doing over and over again? Pushing the gas and spinning the wheels. Now, the first time you pushed the gas and the wheels spun, why do you keep doing it? Because if it did not move the first time, it will not move the second time. See, I want to admit to you that I have been stuck in every area of my life. In personal development, in leadership, in business, in my marriage, every area of my life, I have been stuck or can get stuck again. Your church can get stuck. Your nation can get stuck. Your relationships, your friendships can get stuck. The mechanics are universal. The physics are the same. So what happens when we get stuck? So let me give you some encouragement. Don't frame stuck as failure. Don't frame being stuck as failure, but as conditions that robbed you of traction. Spinning is energy without progress. Get out, walk around the car, get back in. What just happened? You walked around the car, and we'll do this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. See, people don't get stuck because they're unspiritual. People get stuck because the terrain changes and you didn't adjust. See, if you are moving or you are driving, the terrain is always changing. The road surface changes. You ever ride down the road and you see, you definitely don't want to run off the side of the road because it's this deep. You ever see those things on the side of the road? You run off, you're like, man, that's going to flip my car. You turn around, and the shoulder is soft. You back up too far, and the wheels drop. There's a website or a Facebook about Freedom Park or whatever, and it always shows all these people getting stuck at Carolina Beach. Okay? We're not going to talk about them, but we'll talk about that. But see, your terrain is going to change in leadership, in marriage, in family, in raising your kids. Your terrain is going to change. Your terrain with Shane right now is one thing, but when he gets 13, the terrain changed. And if you try to parent Shane at 13 with a two-wheel drive at 8, see, you may need a two-wheel drive at 8. you're going to need a four-wheel drive at 13. If you don't understand how to make the adjustments to your terrain, you will get stuck. If you don't know how to make the adjustments to your leadership, to what's going on, you will get stuck. It's inevitable you will get stuck because you have to make adjustments. See, spinning creates the illusion that you're in control. Why does it give you the illusion? Because it's noisy, it's active, it's busy, you're doing something. I can't get into all this for time, but see, most people think they're stalled, but they're not stalled, they're stuck. Because if you're stalled, it means you're not doing anything, it means restraint. Stuck, there's no restraint. If you knew you were stalled, you wouldn't spin your tires anymore. But when you keep spinning your tires, there's no restraint because you're hoping if I do this one more time. That might be that old insanity issue. See, spinning is an illusion of control. What do you think the number one reason why people get stuck is in their cars? The number one reason that people get stuck in their vehicle is wrong tire pressure. If you have a tire, the more pressure, the more air you put in that tire, the more the tread raises up, the less traction you have. When you go to the beach, either you have the right tires, but if you know a little bit about 4x4ing, you lower your tire pressure to cause the tire to flatten out because more space is covered and you get more traction. The air pressure that runs on the highway will not run in the beach sand. The number one reason that people get stuck is because they have high pressure leadership. They have high pressure relationships. See, people get stuck when they carry more than their mind has been created to handle. When you move into leadership and you're inadequately trained, you will get stuck because you are carrying a load you're not equipped to carry. When you get into a relationship and that relationship is not what you have been created, that's why marriages fall apart. The sex is good, but I haven't been created to talk. I haven't been created to communicate. I haven't been created to walk in forgiveness. I haven't been created not to have drama in my life. So we go into places with pressure without having traction, and when you lose traction, you spin. See, here's pressure. Pretending everything's fine. Managing your image. Suppressing questions. Spiritual exhaustion you don't talk about. See, when pressure rises, emotionally, mentally, in a car. Remember, universal law is the same for getting stuck. When pressure rises in your life, traction slips. When pressure rises, traction slips. See, the problem isn't faith failing, it's the overload inside you. The problem isn't faith failing, It's the overload inside of you. And see, we've been trained. Let me tell you how we've been trained. We're trained we tell people, add more effort when you're confused. Add more activity when it's unclear. Add pressure when you're afraid. Add volume when you're stuck. They spin harder. You just need to do something. I just got to get out of this. I can't stay here. So you're just trying to do things, more effort, more performance, more of that. The key to getting unstuck is reduce pressure. You've got to let the pressure out your tire. You can be stuck in a lot of times if you'll let the pressure out your tire. I'm talking about letting it out where it can get like, you don't want it to come off the rim. You can get it where it's got 5 inches in the sand. You can let those tires out where you have like 7 or 8 inches, and many times you can catch traction. See, we increase the pressure when we're spinning because we're under pressure, when that does the opposite of giving us traction. This is different for me. I'm trying to talk to us to grasp and absorb versus me preaching at us. This is stuff that will radically change your life if you can absorb it. This is how people mislabel stuck from stall. People say, I'm just stalled. I'm waiting on God. It's just not the right season. I'm being patient. I'm resting. No, you're stuck. Those are excuses, and you put stall on it because stall sounds better than stuck. But if you're not getting forward progress is the indicator that you're moving. If you're not getting progress, you're not getting results, you're not getting fruitfulness, you're stuck. And we don't like to admit we're stuck, especially in areas. I don't want to tell anybody my business is stuck. I don't want to tell anybody my marriage is stuck. I don't want to tell anybody my growth is stuck. The second thing that causes people to get stuck and stay stuck, they have no winch and no tow point, so nobody's there to pull them out. People don't get stuck because they're weak. People get stuck because they're alone. No community, no honest relationships, no shared life. Isolation is the enemy to traction. No one there to say, hook up and I'll help you get out. We got to get out by ourselves. If pressure increases, the roots deepen. Soil is healthy. If pressure increases and spin begins, soil was shallow. See, the scripture talks about 4 soils. So let me show you what formation looks like. Let's read Acts 4:31 through 34. Do you have that, Jada? Oh, the Mirror Study Bible. After they prayed, this is Acts chapter 4. This is the beginning of the first church. This is what formation looked like. Formation is a key word. After they prayed, the place shook. They were filled with the Holy Spirit. They spoke God's word with bold confidence. They shared everything. They were of one heart and one mind. The apostles testified with great power, and great grace rested on all of them. There were no needy people among them because people gave, shared, and cared for each other. What I notice in this is you do not see or find the word try. They did not try to be generous. They did not try to be bold. They did not try to share lives. They did not try. They were not trying, because trying is human effort. This thing, there's a reason why this happened versus why it is not happening, because today we try. Well, I'm trying. That God never asked us to try. He asked us to follow this. They didn't try to be bold. Boldness showed up. They didn't try to be unified. It was already there. See, right now, listen, this is so good because we talked about it a little bit. Right now, if we were to say in this room, we need to be more unified, what's the first thing we're going to do? We need to have a dinner. We need to have food. We want to put behavior in place to create unity, and unity doesn't come from activities and behavior. It comes from shared life. And that's what religion does. Well, we need to do something to create activity. So we come up with all these ideas and plans. Not that they're bad, not that they're wrong, but they're missing the point, because that you're trying by effort to create something that should come by natural causes of relationship. If my relationship with Richard is formed, I don't have to try to be connected with him. We're going to be connected automatically. So we try to force all of these programs and activity to keep us together, when that is not how it occurred in the book of Acts. And you can have 40 dinners and 40 luncheons and 40 whatever and still remain stuck in the same shallow position you're in, because that is not biblical concepts of what forms us. The glue that God is talking about is our shared life. See, we're trying to get unity, or we're trying to get connected. What is that doing? We're trying to achieve something. See, we're not trying to achieve something, because when you try to achieve something, then you're trying to reward activity. This comes out of a natural love of what we all love. What do we all love? Heather ran a half a marathon. How many runners that love running in here, raise your hand? Well, of course, Josh. Besides Josh. Nobody in here wants to run. And we ain't. She loves it. So you can't force people to want to be part of running. That is fine to run, but you can't force this. So what we have just our runners get together. And just our podcasters, influencers get together. And just our teachers get together. See, this is compartmentalized. This is not how it works. Running is not why we're here. I don't go to church because I care nothing about running. I don't care. So I'm not going to church for running. I'm not going to church for jobs. I'm not going. The central why we go to church is Christ. We all have this in common. So this is what unifies us, not our interest. So we don't know how to unify around Christ, so we unify around interest. And that continues to drift us into selfishness. See, we try harder instead of becoming stronger. We attend more but connect less. We look active, but we're not aligned. See, formation will show up in your life without trying. Are y'all with me? Have I lost it? Have I moved into too much content? Okay. See, when you read Acts 4, they were being formed, not informed. See, most people come to church for me to inform them. Most people come to church to be entertained. Most people come to church to like something. They're not motivated by form. We are to come to church. We are together. Our conversation should be centered around Christ. Not saying that it's everything, but if we get together, I'm just saying, just like the dinner we had or the Christmas party, not that nothing is wrong. I would say out of the 100% of conversation, I bet 1 or 2% never brought up Christ and what Christ is in my life. Not that that is wrong. It's Christ is not our center. Christ is not my center. I mean, we've had people to come through here and say, I'm going to this church because of networking. I'm going to this church because of this. That is not, you're not looking for Christ to form me I'm looking for a church that looks like Christ, talks like Christ, and is influenced like Christ, that affects the Christ. We go to a church because it's interest. Where's my kids? I need a place for my kids. I need a place for my divorce care. I need a place for my addiction. I need a place, all interest. They just don't offer enough for me. We're not supposed to offer. Christ is everything. Up until the last 50 years, there was no divorce care. There was no CR. There was none of that. None of this stuff existed. It was the church that got you through these things if you were going to get through it. Now, the church can't keep up because, let me stand for a minute. Because I need to preface this because I am going to do a teaching within the next 3 weeks on this. I am going to do a teaching. I study AI. I study it. I know a lot about AI. Probably more than anyone in this room. I know AI. I study it. Let me tell you, AI is going to completely wipe the church out. It's coming. Because you can go to AI and you can get a better answer that I can give you. Because it has every commentary, it has everything that's ever been written, every sermon, everything on the internet, and it has it collapsed right there. And it can tell you exactly the answer that your pastor. AI will be a future religion. But I need to help you understand it has great potential and it's never going away. It's here. But you need to know how to navigate this because it is here and it is very valuable, but it is smarter than any preacher from Duke or Wake or Campbell or any college. It is smarter than any person existing. But we don't understand that it has no consciousness, it has no emotions, it has no morality, and whoever builds it is building biases in it, so therefore it will drift you. The greatest drift that's ever been is coming to the church because people will listen and you will not be able, well, AI said. Now, I am telling you, now we haven't got the first power plant, and I don't want a rabbit trail here. But I am telling you, within 2 to 5 years, the casual, non-existent, these flimsy churches, they're going to be wiped out. The final blow. COVID did not send a blow. COVID brought exposure to the cracks in the system. AI is going to put a blow on the church. But it can't put a blow on what Acts is, where we share life and we have a connection. If you are information driven, AI will be your thing. If you need connection, it will give you spirituality or morality without relationship. So you will have information but no connection. You're still going to have greater emptiness. We haven't even seen. We had the printing press, big deal. We had the Enlightenment, it changed stuff. We had the Industrial Revolution. That was big. It rattled America. AI is not that. AI is going to rattle every domain, all 5 domains. It's greater than the Industrial Revolution. It's greater than any medical breakthrough. It's greater than the Enlightenment. It is so big, it has taken all of history and collapsed it right here. What? It's taken us 2,000 to 3,000 years to get in knowledge. It has it right here. And if you're not rooted and grounded, it will give you an illusion and take you down a path you don't want to go. But I'm excited about it because that puts me in a great place because I'm operating what AI can't give you. It can't give you agape. It can't give you connection. It can't give you the relationship with Christ. But I have to be formed in Christ before I can give you what you need. It's big. Can I sit back down, Agnes? Agnes, if you see me get up, just do me like this and I'll sit back down. I'm not telling you to write this down. Just remember this about Acts 4. See, Acts 4 doesn't give us a better church model. It shows us what formation naturally produces when Christ is shaping people instead of activity shaping schedules, instead of interest shaping people. I would say 90% of it's probably higher. I would say 95% of everything in churches, about churches, everything, we're interest driven, information driven. If you go and talk to the average person, listen to this. If you go and talk to the average person, they'll talk about politics, they'll talk about the news, they'll talk about sports. All interest. They never tell you about their marriage. They never tell you about their finances. They never tell you about their health. They never tell you about their friendships. What does that tell you? I'm talking information to you. And it's just everything is information exchange. I felt so sorry for Lisa this week. I mean, when I say that, I'm just being honest. I mean, the crap that come out about Michigan. I mean, this dude, you read about him, $30 million contract. And he became suicidal in seconds, married and 3 kids, and people looked up to this guy. He's the best coach. And my God, he had OnlyFans. I mean, this dude had a deep. Been to P. Diddy parties. I mean, deep. Can I tell you? Is it more? More has more credibility than I do. More is light, better than I am light. People will follow him and they won't follow me. Why? Because we're so shallow. We don't look for formation, we look for interest. We have drifted. I mean, this guy will probably never get another job. I don't know what he's going to do. What is his wife going to do? What is his children going to do? So see, interest is shaping us, and schedules are shaping us, but not people. Jada, can I just share for a moment what you and I talked about? Do you mind? I sat down with Jada this morning, and I said, you are a beautiful young lady, and I'm proud of you. And, of course, she had to say, why? That's a great question. You just don't get to say it. And I told her why. because I've watched her grow up. And she's at an age at 16. She has not had a second parent in her home. She's had a wonderful mother, but she's not had a dad in her home. And she is grown up in this church. And I just told her, I said, you know what? You don't have to be a strong black woman. And you don't have to be a strong white woman. And you don't have to be this or that. I want to, if you will allow me, I'm offering one day a week on your time, your questions. Just try it. If you don't want to do it again, just let me know. Any way I can help you navigate life, because she has, with all that's going on politically and all that's going on in schools and all that's going on in our culture, I just want to help you navigate it. See, listen to me. Listen to me. We come to church, but we never sit down with other people and help them navigate life. I don't know. We can't regret. Listen, slavery was something we can't change. It happened, it happened. We can't change what's happened. I don't know of a man in this room that ever sat down with Jackson. Not one man. I don't know of one man that's ever sat down. I don't know of a woman that has sat down and said, hey, Haley, let's go do something together. No, Haley's too young. I want to hang around someone that makes me laugh. I want to hang around someone that no. This is about sharing life. How many children do we have to lose before we say, I have to take, Christ is formed in me. I want to help you form Christ in you. But no. Don't answer. How many women in this church has called you up and said, see, we're so on our individual. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. I'm so jacked up, I got to focus on me. No, when you're able to help other people, that is where you grow, because the more you give out, the more God puts in you. We do not. Alana, I don't know how many women reached out to you growing up and say, hey, let's get together. I know you were friends with Carmen, but that's a peer. That's not the same. And the church is full of, this is all the church is. It's just come in, let's give them a youth group. Let's give them this. We're broken. We're like the DOE. The church as a whole is completely dysfunctional. It is broken. And I heard, and you'll probably watch this video one day, but I just happened to see it. It came across my thing, and it was Glenn Beck. I don't know if you know his. I watch Glenn Beck, but he come off, and he said, and the church, and let me tell you, the church, it is useless. That's on national television. It is useless. It's useless. It is a broken system, and if you're not careful, in this room right here, you will try to defend it and prop it up and say, well, I don't think you're exactly, show me the fruit on the tree. When I get ready to cut, my wife does not like for me to cut any tree or bush or anything. Don't cut it. I said it's useless. Don't cut it, it's so pretty. See, you can have such loyalty to the church. You will have such loyalty to a broken system that you will defend the church. I am not here to defend the system that creates what it has created. I will not defend the DOE. Can I tell you, if I was an attorney general or whatever, I would file a lawsuit. It is criminal, and someone should go to jail. I'm not saying you, but someone should go to jail for spending trillions of dollars, and our education system can't get 30 people out of 100 to read. Yes, I would lock you up. And that is not an indictment against any of you. It's a job. But we think this is okay. It is not okay. Our America is being destroyed. I don't know. I believe in God. I'm an optimist. But if the church doesn't rise up, we will experience what they experience, persecution and struggles that's going to be unimaginable. It is headed that way. So it's 12 o'clock. I'm stopping. Feedback. I don't need your feedback as an attaboy. Questions you may have, thoughts you may have. This is about formation of where things are missing. I get you. I have not forgotten you. And I've talked to my wife. And I need you to push me harder. I am not a social media person. I don't creep, crawl, or any of that. I'm not a creepy crawler. I have no desire to go in there and get in front of that TV. That's what this chair is for, new chair. I'm just going to start, and I'm starting here within the next week. I am just starting because two things. I have a twofold mandate. It's the church, not the religious system. It's the church, and two, it's America. Drift has occurred in both. Drift is so important. How did America get to where it is today? It's not politicians. The Constitution is the Bible of America. We have drifted, reinterpreted, redefined, and we are here, and we have drifted from where the Constitution is, and we're way over here. The church has drifted from Acts chapter 4 and the New Testament church and what Christ said to way over here. We have drifted. And in order to stop the drift, you can't complain, you can't criticize, you can't beat up. You have to begin to point. I remember when we lived at Surf City, I was out in the water and the waves were coming because I was invincible in my 30s. And the waves were coming and I would be like, bam, and I would run in the waves like I was really doing something, just slamming against the waves. And it was and Diane was out here like this, and I thought she was like, boy, he is just tearing those waves up, right? And she kept doing me like this, and I thought she was encouraging me and all this. And she came out, and we finally where I could, because you can't hear anything, because I think there was a nor'easter going on. I was out there in the middle of crazy waves. And she come in. She says, I was trying to get your attention because in the wave there was a shark. See, what I'm trying to tell you, there's a shark in the wave. There's a shark in the wave. Get out the water. That's a good question. And I can't give you the answer. And the reason why I can't give you the answer, because we're jumping to the answer instead of the process. And if you get the answer, you won't go through the process. And see, the process has to be part of it, because just not working through it, you see, pressure is what reveals what's in you.